I know Stephen hit the perfect chord there because I could hear Jessica in the back calling it out. That was wonderful. She was like a natural shofar blower. Well, how wonderful it is to be together here. Again, there's so much happening outside there. It is so nice to be inside here together, joyfully celebrating. I know what it means to live in this past year. It's been a hard year, and it's nice to just be together. A lot of you with your families, some of you from out of town, some of you newcomers. We're really, really happy. Every single one of you matters to our community. Perhaps the strangest commencement speeches of all time began with a few opening remarks given in a high-pitched, awkward stutter, followed by the words, "You are here to listen to a frog." By frog, he was referring to perhaps the most famous amphibian on the planet, Kermit. How many of you had a chance to hear Kermit's speech? You should listen to it, it's amazing. It was there on the campus of University of Maryland in the tiniest cap and gown. So cute. To offer the following 3 pieces of advice to the class of 2025. Number 1, find your people. Because, as he told the graduates, life is not a solo act. No, it's not. It's a big, messy, delightful ensemble piece. Number 2, when you have found your people, take a leap, and take a leap together. And number 3, lastly, but equally important, after you have accomplished the first 2 goals, taking a leap together, finding your people and taking a leap, stay connected. Stay connected to your loved ones, stay connected to your friends, and most of all, stay connected to your dreams, no matter how big, no matter how impossible they seem. I wish I could do it in a Kermit voice. What amazing advice from a frog, no less. Important advice for college graduates, and important advice to all of us gathered here to celebrate the first day of the Jewish New Year, 5786. Hayom harat haolam. Today, the world was created. On Rosh Hashannah is when we celebrate creation, the creation of worlds, the creation of life, the creation of ideas, the creation of new possibilities, pushing aside our fears and leaning into our desires. Yes, this past year has been hard as hostages continue to languish in dark tunnels. Our beloved Israel is mired in war and bloodshed, and our country and the world an increasingly heated and violent place to live. Today, we choose not to focus on the anxiety that has built up over the last 354 Jewish days, but on our hopes and our dreams for the next 354. Dreaming is about what we want, what we hope, and what we can achieve. As Kermit told the graduates, dreaming is how we figure out where we want to go, and life is how we get there. I love that. Dreaming is how we figure out where we want to go, and life is how we get there. Dreaming is also very Jewish. From Joseph's dreams in biblical times to Theodore Herzl's in modern ones, Jews have always been able to look beyond the wilderness of our existence into the promised lands far beyond our imagination. As Herzl famously said, Im tirtzu ein zo agada. If we will it, it is not a dream. Today, I would like to share a story of a dream so outlandish, so full of chutzpah, that even today, 200 years after its inception, it is still shocking that it happened at all. I've actually been waiting many, many years to celebrate this bicentennial of this important occasion. As soon as I moved to Buffalo, I said, I marked it on a calendar this September. We are going to mourn. Of course, when we actually had the service commemorating it, I got COVID and missed the whole thing. And while, as you will soon see, this particular dream had absolutely no chance of coming to fruition, not only because of how outlandish it was, but because it ignored a key piece of Kermit's advice. So let's go over Kermit's advice. Find your people, leap together, and stay connected. So after I finish sharing this story with you, I'm going to ask you which piece of advice that was ignored in this story. So to tell this particular tale, I'll need to take you back the 200 years and introduce you to a man by the name of Mordechai Emanuel Noah. How many of you have heard of Mr. Noah? Okay, a bunch of you. Born on July 14th, 1785, in my childhood home of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, he was the child of Revolutionary War heroes. Imagine that, a Jewish boy, the child of Revolutionary War heroes, and a true American. In his lifetime, Noah had many roles, including as a journalist in some of the top newspapers of his day, as a celebrated playwright, most notably with the play, She Would Be a Soldier, that is still taught in colleges today, and as the American ambassador to Tunis, among other things. He had flair and moxie, a self-assuredness that was contagious and inspiring. He was a Renaissance man in every aspect of the word. But he was most definitely a Jew at a time that did not always value Jews. Mordechai Emanuel Noah found this out the hard way when he was summarily dismissed as a diplomat after a few years by the then Secretary of State and soon-to-be President James Monroe. Yeah, you tell them, Maxine, you're good. With a note that called in the note that was written to him, it called his faith an obstacle to the exercise of his consular function. They called him out because he was Jewish, possibly for the first time in his life. This was certainly a slap in the face to Noah and a wake-up call about what it really meant to be Jewish. But what was even more chilling to him was the state he found world Jewry to be in. Touring Europe and West Africa, he saw how restricted the communities they lived in were and how little control they had over their own destinies. This was nothing like the condition of American Jews, even in the early 19th century. He came back determined to make a difference. But how? It just so happened that the state of New York had just acquired a large parcel of land from the Seneca Nation and was putting it up for auction. Maybe this could be the answer that Noah was looking for. In his estimation, Jews around the world needed something more than rights in the countries they were living. What they needed was a home of their own. So using the funds he had made from his play, Noah managed to cobble together enough to purchase almost 2,500 square acres of land in a place only 20 minutes from where we are right now. This is why I was excited when I moved to Buffalo. Straight up the 290 to the 190, over a bridge, you know what I'm talking about, some of you even lived there, into what we now call as Grand Island. If you want to know where he bought the land, if you know where the hotel is along the river there, that's where it is. It would have been valuable land if he still had it. This would be the first Jewish state in nearly 2,000 years, a place that, if it was up to Noah, would be from then on called Ararat, after the mountain the ark of his biblical namesake came to rest in the days of the flood. So sure was Mordechai Emanuel Noah of the necessity of his idea, he actually had a cornerstone made to be used in the first official building, which read, "Hear, O Israel, Shema Yisrael, the Lord our God, the Lord is one, Ararat, a city of refuge for the Jews, founded by Mordechai Emanuel Noah in the month Tishrei, September 1825, in the 50th year of the American independence." Then, with stone in hand, literally in hand, I think he carried it up here, he made his way up the newly built Erie Canal into downtown Buffalo, where a group of Masons and Native American leaders led a large delegation into St. Paul's Episcopal Cathedral for an opening ceremony, placing this very, very heavy cornerstone on the Eucharistic table. I was talking to Reverend Rebecca Barnes, who's the current dean of the cathedral, and she said it literally says in the record, the table groaned under the weight of this stone. It's heavier than our Torahs over here. He proceeded to read his proclamation, announcing to the world his intentions. Finally, the event concluded with gunfire and cannonade. I love that. All this pomp and circumstance, and then nothing. Noah simply reboarded his ship and returned home. Turns out there were two fundamental flaws, among others, in this dream ever coming to fruition. Namely, the lack of Jews in Western New York at the time, and two, the lack of any possible way of getting to Grand Island. There was no bridge back then. But more than that, as I told you at the beginning, he had forgotten one of Kermit's key principles. So let's go over them. Find your people, leap together, and stay connected. So which one? Number 1, 2, or 3, do you think? You can, I don't know, say amen if you think it's number 1. What do you think? If you think it's number 2. If you think it's number 3. Oh, you think it's all of them. You really don't think very highly of him. He leapt, he leaped, but he didn't leap together. You're very right about that. And he was sort of connected, but he never really found his people. He tried to do this whole thing without any people there. Noah had everything lined up, a place to take his leap, the stone for the new construction, the proclamation to the world, and all the many steps that would occur when Ararat was actually established. But as any small Muppet frog could tell you, he had forgotten to find his people. It turns out the Jewish communities he had visited during his ambassadorship, the ones he had seen as oppressed, were in fact perfectly content where they were and had no desire, believe it or not, to come to a small unpopulated island in upstate New York. So this is where Noah's dream died, right? Well, sort of. Because while Noah never found his people in his lifetime, his people, in a way, found him. It turns out Noah's short stint in Western New York helped pave the way for thousands of Jews to settle here, including all of you, over the next 2 centuries. His proclamation helped show this was a safe place for Jews to make their home. More than that, Ararat was the first of many dreams about a Jewish homeland that eventually led to the birth of the modern state of Israel. Noah was prescient about the global state of the Jews, correctly forecasting the rise of anti-Semitism that eventually would lead to the destruction of all the Jewish communities, this is the saddest part, all the Jewish communities that he visited at the hands of the Nazis. Looking back, we have to wonder how different Jewish life would be today if only those communities had actually taken Noah up on his offer at the time it was made. Here in Western New York, Noah's willingness to take a leap set the stage for thousands of future leapers, not just Jews, but everyone whose dreams and ideas, from electricity to air conditioning, have reshaped not only our region, but the entire world. And his encouragement of interreligious dialogue was, at least in part, responsible for the birth of organizations such as 2 that I serve on the board, Network of Religious Communities, and the National Federation of Just Communities. Leaping does not always take us, as we all know, where we want to go. But where would we be if we did not leap at all? In this room are hundreds of dreams, maybe thousands, still unrealized. We have the capacity with these dreams to transform not only our own lives, but the lives of the entire world. If only we banded together, finding our people, willing them into existence. Even knowing that some dreams that we have will never come to fruition. Maybe what we thought we wanted in the past will not be what we want in the future. Life, circumstance, health will get in the way of those dreams and force us to alter and adjust in ways we did not expect. How many of you have had a dream that you hoped for that you had to change? Probably all of you will raise your hand at that. As the Yiddish saying goes, people plan, God laughs. But some dreams will. 13 years ago, our leadership took the bold step and dreamed of Congregation Shir Shalom. It took a lot of time and effort and hard work, but today we are an established piece of the landscape of Western New York. We have these 13th anniversary pins to prove it. Please, if you didn't get one before you leave. For me personally, I try to enter every year with a set of dreams and hopes for myself, my family, and our community. Some of these, like the novels I hope to write, the list of songs I hope to compose, the guitar I had to place back in my closet for lack of use, and that Shir Shalom prayer book that we tried to create years ago. Right, Rella? They don't always come to fruition. But every year I still go back to the drawing board and start again. Dreams could be as simple as finding a new friend, reconnecting with an old one, joining a new group, learning a new skill, or finding more me time. We could all use more me time. Here on these holiest days of the year, open your hearts to new possibilities. Shema, listen to the deepest recesses of your soul, because as my bar mitzvah rabbi, Sheila Peltz-Weinberg, always reminds us, every day creation is renewed. Wake up, see unfolding in the spreading light of dawn, the world and all it contains come into being, new, fresh, filled with divine goodness and love. Because as Kermit told us, dreaming is how we figure out where we want to go, and life is how we get there. There is way too much hate in this world. We need more hope. In his lifetime, Mordechai Emanuel Noah never stopped dreaming of safety and security for Jews around the world, preaching to his dying day about the need for a Jewish refuge. While his beloved Ararat never came into existence exactly as he expected, many of his dreams have. On this, the 200th anniversary of his great leap, let us use him for inspiration, continuing to dream of a better, safer world, not only for the Jewish community, but for all human beings. Kain Yehi Ratzon, may it be so. I leave you with the words of a song Kermit had the 2025 graduates sing at the end of the commencement speech, one that you are no doubt familiar. I'm going to try to, it'll sound like a frog, but here we go. Why are there so many songs about rainbows, and what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, but only illusions. Rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. La da 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 da, la da 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 da. A Shana Tova Umituka, a sweet and healthy and a happy new year.